There is an audio making round in the media which people have claimed is the voice of the governor of Delta State, who is the vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the DG of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Tambuwa, the governor of Sokoto State. Governor Okowa is a friend whom you have described as a brother. I believe you can identify and authenticate his voice in that audio, among others, if you may. And I would like you to react to that audio. But first, let's take a listen.
Let us strategize and discuss the arrangements and how it can be achieved.
Well, that's why we are meeting. Okay, let us sit down and find any other technology that may be used to make sure that, that will be matched. So there has to be a way of how we can find, loopholes.
We are going to provide for the INEC officials, starting from the polling units through to the World Coalition Centers, and I just hope that we are going to have to find a way to rig the elections, and this is the best time to
It's not enough.
No,
it's not enough. First of all, you give money to the state INEC, you must also make sure that they don't use beavers, because we have seen what the use of beavers have resulted in Ocean.
Atiku Abubakar, I am with you on this one.
Then you also supervise to make sure that we use the central bank to share the money. Okay. And then, of course, find a way to get them out of power.
It will be extremely difficult in a way. You see, it depends on certain fundamentals and indices. If Nigerians are having only two options,
yes,
clearly from two regions, then one of them will be the numbers will count in this case. And we all know the voting strength of each and every bloc in this country.
Yeah. It's obviously a major issue. It should not be restricted to. We must look at the things that will give us results.
And always ready to support a process that will bring in one of our best to be president of Nigeria. So I try as much as possible to do my work. For me, I don't like mistakes. And as I've said, I have won my elections 5 times consecutively. We all know that I have the support of my home base. So it's a matter of strategy. It's not about me. It's about Atiku Abubakar to be president of Nigeria.
We cannot act with disregard of normal rules. There is a need to give INEC money to be able to run their processes on their own and to mobilize their people for the purpose of the elections. That is likely going to make a stronger impact, not the way we're going through.
Okay. And why are those areas that will be difficult also always to correct? Win the election.
The INEC officials, they need to take instructions from the PDP agents, and there is no doubt that the process are just good enough to ensure that the system is not questionable.
Okay. Are you sure we can win the election?
Yes. It must be done in such a way that it is skewed in favor of PDP.
Even with beavers.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think we're on course. It's just a question of trying.
Okay.
Now you've heard what we heard. If that audio is authentic, then it should be very troubling and cause for concern in many quarters. With your orientation in criminology, and most importantly, you are a lawyer who understands the ramification of things like this. I'm going to ask, from the much you know Okowa, you should be able to identify his voice. Can you authenticate that the voice in that audio is that of Dr. Okowa, the governor of Delta State?
Thank you very much for trying to enlighten Nigerians. I confirm, not only as a criminologist or a lawyer, but one that has worked very closely with Okowa for over 7 years, that obviously is his voice, that obviously is his mannerism, that obviously is his desperation, because that is all that is left. But quite honestly, As a former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the duel of Atiku and Tambuwal came in consultation with the Ministers' Forum. At one time, I was the secretary of the Ministers' Forum and a member, of course. So, apart from knowing Atiku all these years, I was privileged not too long ago during the primaries consultation that Atiku came and addressed us in our office as a group of former ministers of the PDP. So Atiku spoke to us and was with us for close to an hour. So I know Atiku's voice. Apart from that, I know Atiku's mannerism. That obviously is Atiku. I equally had the privilege of having Tambuwal, who addressed us in the same manner in the Ministers' Forum and very closely. I will release photographs of Atiku, Tambuwal when they addressed us in the Ministers' Forum. So I am quite conversant with all the three voices that spoke at that video, and I authenticate it as the voices of Atiku, Tambuwal, and Okowa. But put it this way, Nigerians have come to hear. Nigerians have come to listen to how desperate Okowa has come to be with regards to this election, that it is a do or die affair. Okowa has now confirmed that he has compromised the beavers for the purposes of rigging and compromising whatever the beavers is. Everybody in the world have come to hear that. The United Nations have come to hear that. Election poll watchers from Africa, Europe, and everywhere have come to hear that he's gone ahead to compromise the beavers. I want to reveal or declassify. I actually met an Israeli with Okowa, who I believe had taken the responsibility to compromise the beavers in that office, where loads of dollars and money were handed over to him. I have the photograph of that Israeli as well when I met him in his office. So those, I believe and I confirm that they have done things to damage the beavers. 2, he has told you that he will bribe all INEC person. All of them. He will do any and everything to compromise them. You will see from that video why Tambuwal, in his usual characteristics, was being cautious as to why they should do things with popularity of theirs. Even the presidential candidate, Atiku, was mindful, but you can see the assurance being given to them with the sweat, the money, and the backwardness of Deltans by Okowa, that they should forget it. They must screw everything on this planet Earth to make sure that they compromise the beavers, they compromise the INEC people for them to get victory. The fact remains, you cannot force God. Deltans, wake up. It is now clear that your resolve and what you believed in, that Okowa and the PDP had destroyed this country and the state beyond repair, has gotten to them. So they have jettisoned all Deltans, they have jettisoned Nigerians, and they have resolved that what they will do is to compromise the beavers. Well, I know the Israelis have asked a friend of ours before that with $8 million, they will screw the election and the beavers in favor of any candidate that can pay them that money. And if they don't perform, they will refund the money. So I met Okowa, as God will have it, with an Israeli that has an Israeli muffler, which he gave to Okowa in my presence. I met when that arrangement was being put to place to rig and compromise the beavers. Anything can be done with computer. What we Nigerians must do is to ensure that we wash our polls. Now they've told us they will disenable the beavers. They will do whatever with INEC personnel. Nigerians, go up in arms. The life of the next 8 years of your children, your mother, our youth that have been disused, our youth that has been destroyed, is at stake. I plead with you, vote for SDP. one that you trusted, one that has been trusted in Delta State, taking about my election on May 11. But between you and I, it is clear that Okowa will do anything. The reason why he has borrowed all this money, believing that he will use this money to stupidize Deltans. Now, put it this way. They started deploying money, church leaders, and he's tried to bribe the church. The church has stood, and for the first time, I want to congratulate the church. The church in Delta have stood firm that they will do nothing other than doing what is right this time. So I want to congratulate the church for the stand they have taken. I want to congratulate our youth for the stand they have taken. I want to congratulate our market women, our NGOs, our teachers, and everybody. Please, take this through. You can start a relay race so beautifully, but you must vote on that day. Stay at the voting polling unit. Ensure that your vote counts. Ensure that you check the beavers. Ensure that you make sure this INEC personnel are not compromised. We have a problem. Even in the SDP today, our state collating officer in Asaba, his name has been changed. We had one, Dubo, the former son of Justice Dubo. His name has been changed by Okowa just to compromise the election at that collating unit. So from what we have seen from the video, from the voicemail, it is clear that this gentleman is out to destroy the will and the people of Delta. But once God has brought it out like this, it means we are heading for victory. Refuse Okowa's temptation, refuse the money. Deltans, do what will make you come back to the Committee of States in Nigeria, because that is the only hope we have as a people.
If this audio is authentic, what in your estimation will be the legal and the political ramification of it?
Put it very simple. Let us not jump the gun. Leave that. Experts are already looking at the video across the globe. That video, which was done, it was God that made them. You see, if God is pleased with your ways, he will make your enemies make mistake. So that video is a lot of evidence as to what Okowa intends to do. While the other two are afraid, Okowa has assured them that, look, I've compromised the beavers. I'm going to pay money to INEC people. That shows that Deltans in particular should rise up. The church should rise up. To do otherwise means that we have been compromised for life. This is the turn of a Southern president, and that's where we all stand as a people. We must produce a Christian Southern president on